And I'm sure I don't need to actually do the little dog and pony show that I was planning on doing, but if anyone wants to compare, you probably realize that this is going to put a lot more strain on your kid's back than a 1.5 pound iPad. So you get all of that text, you get all that information. It doesn't take up hardly any space on the iPad, and it doesn't add to the physical burden of the learning experience. Now, what I hope that this will do is to really develop that passion for reading and learning in our students when they can connect with this bookstore that's, again, infused with thousands of digital books that are available for free. That really allows them to go to the library at any time and to develop collections of books that they love and that they want to keep around and that they want to organize. What it also is going to allow us to do is I'm going to teach the faculty how they can take their pre-existing work, their digital documents that maybe they've created in Microsoft Word or some other sort of word processing application, and they can actually take those and convert them into a form that's usable on the iPad through this iBooks application. So now, if the teacher has developed some learning materials, you can actually read it through this platform and get all those built-in benefits of accessibility. So if I have various learners in my classroom, and some of them have, let's say, an IEP, that previously would have required me to make a large print copy of my handouts, I don't have to do that. Now that person can get exactly the same treatment as everybody else in the class, and they can take care of themselves in terms of making the learning process what they need it to be. And I think that's a powerful equalizer, that everybody's getting the same resource, but they can differentiate themselves. And so teachers can reuse a lot of their work and add all of these capacities to it, basically just by using the platform. So that's all well and good, right? Bring something to write with, bring something to write on, keep track of stuff, keep organized, and read stuff. That is traditional school, right? But what I think is interesting about these devices is how much they're going to radically change, or at least promote the opportunity that you can radically change what it means to be in school. Because right now, school is pretty separate from the real world, and it has been for a long time. Marshall McLuhan wrote back in 1967 that the classroom is in a civil war with the media environments that exist in the outside world. It's a very, very famous quote, and that was over 40 years ago. And the situation hasn't improved. It's worse. Students bring devices, and students have devices in the outside classroom world that are far more powerful pre-iPad. So now when they have the iPad, they have a network device with a web browser that can load up Google and answer a question when it comes up. Just-in-time learning is a really, really powerful thing. So rather than sitting on that question and forgetting it, now all of a sudden you can find the answer. And you can dig deeper. Because if you can Google the answer to the question, it's not a very deep question. Right? It's probably just a fact. And it's not a matter of how to learn it. There are also an amazing plethora of resources just on the web that help our students learn, or that can help our students learn. One that is getting a lot of attention right now is called Khan Academy. They have been funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Basically, Saul Khan is a guy who is an investment broker in Boston. He has nieces and nephews who live somewhere far away from him. I think it was in Florida. And he was good at math, and they were struggling with math. And so he started using some digital tools to record some tutorial sessions for his nieces and nephews. And at first he was doing it live. So they would log onto the computer, would arrange a time, log onto the computer at the same time, load up these tools on the computers, and they would actually work through the stuff together. And then he got busy with work, and so he explored some features with this tool and started recording himself. And so he gave his nieces and nephews some recordings. And so he came out of this busy time, he called up his nieces and nephews and said, when do you guys want to schedule your next tutorial? And they basically told him they really didn't want to. They preferred his recordings. And I've heard him tell this story, and he was kind of offended. But then he realized that the power of that is they could pause it, they could rewind it, they could fast forward if they already knew the material. And so he's built this amazing collection of these video tutorials on a wide variety of topics, from math and science to history and all these things. But the real one that's getting a lot of focus is math. And on Khan Academy, if you are a learner that wants to advance your math skills, you can sign up for a free account, and they have this amazing tree network of all the related concepts in math, and a bunch of free questions that you can practice on and earn badges to demonstrate your knowledge that you gain in math. So we open up these doors by providing this tool to our students. Even beyond that, right, we have iTunes. Now, most of you, if you already have an iPod or an iPhone or just iTunes on your computer at home, you might think of iTunes as the place where you go to buy music, right? They're the biggest music retailer in the United States. But one of the things that they've rolled out over the last couple of years is something called iTunes University. And this is all free content from partnerships with thousands of educationally driven institutions. So that's universities, that's K-12 institutions, that's art institutes and museums that are digitizing their holdings, their knowledge bases, their collections in text, in audio, in video, and they're essentially using the iTunes platform to distribute this information for free. It's curated. Nothing gets into the iTunes University platform without going through specific curators at Apple. And so we have some really high quality resources that are, again, at our fingertips. Also at our fingertips, think about what happens to the classroom when every student, every day, in every single class, has access to really high quality creativity applications. So no more do we have to go to the computer lab, no more do we have to wait to address this concept, to explore this concept, to represent our knowledge about this concept or skill. Now we can do it on the iPad right now. And that's, again, it's a really powerful thing for me. So we're going to be deploying to every student at no charge to them Pages, which is a word processing application, Numbers, which is a spreadsheet application, Keynote, which is a presentation application, which I'm using tonight. This presentation was developed entirely on my iPad with no external software whatsoever. And we're also going to be providing iMovie, which goes beyond just video recording, actually allows you to narrate over video and pictures that you've taken, which again is a really powerful way to create artifacts of learning. And our students are going to have these again in every class, every day, and that's powerful. So those are just basics, and then as Mr. Brown mentioned, there's this whole app ecosystem, right? These are just the basics of what the iPad comes with, what the platform is built on, and some simple productivity and creativity tools to show these artifacts of learning. But we haven't even touched the surface of what we can do with these specific apps. So STEM probably is a jargon word for those of us in education. It stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And so there are a variety of applications. I'll show you one called Bounce, which can be used to teach concepts in physics of momentum. Humanities, you can record your voice. You can actually speak in a language other than English as well as English, and it will actually transcribe for free your words in the target language. So if I tell it to you, I can speak in Spanish, and it will actually write what I've said in Spanish with high accuracy. In the arts, there are a variety of photo manipulation applications, there are sketching applications, coloring applications, music applications. The ecosystem is 100,000 apps strong and growing. Now, obviously Angry Birds is one of those, but I would argue that you can use Angry Birds in the classroom to teach projectile motion, and I'll tell you what, I would be way more interested in projectile motion if it had been presented to me as how do you efficiently kill those pigs? So I am really excited, as you can probably tell. I hope you can tell. I'm very excited about the ways that the iPad can augment what we're currently doing in the classroom. But what really gets my heart going is thinking about how, as we get comfortable with this tool, and as the students and faculty and staff and administration, parents, community members, trustees, don't think I missed anybody there. As we all learn together and share with each other these things that we're discovering along the way, I really think that we've got the potential to redefine what education is and to really focus on learning. It's my pleasure to say thank you all for coming out tonight. And if you have any questions for me, I'd be happy to address them now. But if you've thought of any questions for Mr. Shorey, for Mr. Brown, we're all open to addressing questions.